How about I just like slide in?
Hello everyone, welcome back. We are back, another week, another video. We're going to talk about taking care of younger kids versus taking care of older kids. There's so many au pairs who are coming or who are texting me and saying, hey, what should I do? What do you think is better, taking care of older kids, taking care of younger kids, taking care of babies? What are the pros, what are the cons? So today I invited again my special friend Tabi, and we're going to talk about it because she has been a nanny for 8 years, and she has been working with different families with different kids. And so I know that you have a lot of experiences, and we can talk about the pros and cons. And yeah, so share a little bit about your experience and tell us very quick who you are.
Okay, so my name is Tabitha, and like she said, I have been a nanny and working with families for, I'm going on my 8th year, and I've worked with kids of all ages. So 2 weeks old to 16 years old. Mm-hmm. And so again, their dependence on me has varied. And so we're going to talk a little bit about why age makes such a big difference, mm-hmm. but then also some pros and cons of older kids versus younger or younger versus older. Mm-hmm. I have watched kids in between. I've watched anywhere from 6 kids at one time for one family all the way to 1 child at a time. Mm-hmm. And so I can give a little bit of insight, hopefully help you out a little bit in picking which family would be best for you.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your experience with babies, but also taking care of younger children.
Okay, so starting out with babies and toddlers, I was really intimidated. Again, when you hold a baby for the first time or you're getting to know the family, that's like their most precious gift, and they're giving it to you to watch over it and keep it alive while they're gone. Mm-hmm. And so I was really intimidated at first, and if you feel that way, it's completely okay. Toddlers and babies take a lot of energy. A lot more than you mm-hmm. think, with them constantly napping, constantly needing to eat, constantly being awake. You know, they just do a lot in a day, and you're normally holding them or putting them down for a nap. It takes a lot of energy out of you. So I would say with younger kids, I was surprised at how much more exhausted I was than mm-hmm. when we talk about older kids. Mm-hmm. And lots of my time was spent at home, because mm-hmm. taking the kids out is just a whole lot more energy and mm-hmm. time when they're little, because they normally have a routine, they take naps, they eat at certain times, they're not as flexible. Yeah. So with little kids, I really liked it because we were able to bond at home. But a downside was we were pretty much stuck in the home mm-hmm. Because I wasn't going to get them out in the car normally or take them anywhere mm-hmm. unless it was just a quick out to lunch and back.
Right.
So they weren't really old enough for play dates yet either, mm-hmm. Which we can talk about with older kids. So I would say the pros are, I mean, you get lots of cuddly time, snuggles. They think like you're the best ever, and you can play with them, little games and stuff, and you can really stick to a routine. Mm-hmm. And then the downside is they do take a lot of energy and mm-hmm. a lot of patience, and you can't do as much with them. Like you're not as flexible. Mm-hmm. You have to kind of stay at home or in their comfort zone.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I have not have a lot of experience with babies, but since I have a 6-year-old child that I'm taking care of, it's definitely more flexible.
Yes. The older they get.
Right. The older they get, the more flexibility you have and the more chances you have to go outside to explore and to do things. Because, I remember whenever I ask you to go on a play date, yes. All right, the baby is sleeping right now, I can't come. Yes. So I think it does make a big difference if you want to come to a different country, for example, as an au pair, and you're picturing yourself, all right, I want to see places, even though I'm working and I want to go outside with the kids. Then having babies, you should definitely consider that yes. you're going to stay at home for most of the time.
If you're thinking that you're very outgoing and you want to go on lots of adventures with mm-hmm. your nanny or au pair kids, or even parents with your children, just understand if there's a baby, it really does change that, and you have to kind of revolve your day around the baby, mm-hmm. which is more naps, more feedings, and more, they just need quiet time. They can't just go all of the time. So That's what I would say with younger children. Yeah. But they are a blast, and then they grow up to be older kids, which love to go on adventures. Mm-hmm. But just know, even if you have an older child, if there is a baby involved, the day will revolve around the baby,
Right.
not the opposite way.
Yeah.
So,
and also the beautiful thing is like I hear so many au pairs saying, oh, I can see the baby, you know, just growing up and seeing
Yes.
from like when it was just born, and then, you know, 2 years later, and
yeah,
it's
there's
just such
nothing
a-
like that.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely an experience to have.
Yes.
So now tell me a little bit about your experience with older children. How does your routine look like?
Okay, so older kids are a blast. We just talked about younger kids and how they kind of tie you down and you're wrapped around their routine. And a lot of that routine is at home, whether it's them eating, sleeping, potty training, or whatever. When they get older, everything opens up and you're able to be way more flexible. The only downside is normally school comes into play. So school activities always come first over like my activities that I want to do, because obviously school is more important for them. But that doesn't mean that we can't have fun. So I just plan activities for the evening or even sometimes for the morning. So we'll wake up early sometimes before school with enough time to make pancakes instead of just eating cereal. So it's like you can think of fun things to do that fit in their schedule, but also don't take away from what they have to do for the rest of the day. Or when they get out of school, we like to go on activities. They're able to be out longer because they don't have to come home and take a nap. They can also stay up a little bit later normally, so we can do like movie nights and just fun things. I would say the downside to older kids is it can take a little bit longer to connect with them, for them to actually like feel like they like you.
Right.
And you can also get on their bad side, where like with little toddlers, they get over things in a couple of minutes. Older kids can hold on to things for days. So be very careful in how you treat them. And I would say older kids are a lot of fun just because I'm a very adventurous person and I like to go on activities and experience things with the kids and do activities. And so I love older kids for that, just because younger kids, as I mentioned, they're just not quite ready for it.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree, and I can definitely just speak out of my own experience that having the older he gets, the more I can also benefit from.
Yes.
Where you can just go out and do things and explore and just, see also his their reaction. Because if you go to somewhere and the baby doesn't have really a reaction.
Yes.
Versus to a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old or even a 12-year-old, you can really experience their moments too. And
yes. And you have more freedom, like we have more freedom as a nanny or au pair when they're older. Yes. Like naturally, you just have more time to yourself. You can say, okay, you play in your room for 15 minutes, and then I can go get ready for the day or something. So I have a lot more freedom, which I really like with older kids, and especially if you're watching kids for years, like 2 years at a time, you'll see your freedom gets bigger and bigger the older that they get.
Because they take more responsibilities.
Yes.
They take more charge of things, and
they still take a lot from you, but it's just in a different way. I feel like, yes, you're still constantly watching and stuff, but they're not as demanding as little toddlers or babies are.
Right. Okay, so we just talked about taking care of little children and older children. Would you compare them?
Yes. So with my experience comparing the two, younger and older kids, I would say that there's one main thing to remember with either group of children. So with younger kids, it's so important to have a routine because you will literally do the same thing every single day. Every morning will look the same, every evening will look the same, bedtime, mealtime, everything. Because babies and toddlers need that repetition. They're not asking to do very many different things.
Right.
You're just keeping a routine for them and taking care of them. So you can work together with the parents, create a routine, and stick to that for weeks and months. The main thing to remember is that you need to have something for them to do. Older kids just can't have idle time because you're taking care of them. They'll either be bored the whole time or they'll get into trouble. So I would say with younger kids' routine, that's what I like to do. The main thing is their routine. Older kids, the main thing is activities. And that doesn't mean you'll have to constantly be going, but something for them to do, like a schedule. So I normally say if they bring up like, Tabi, I'm so bored, I'll have 3 things that they can do. Normally something inside, something outside, or an electronic technology or something. And then I'll let them choose. Older kids can choose. And that gives them a little bit of sense of like, responsibility if they get to pick what they're doing. And so with older kids, I really like to give choices. So they help me with making their lunches, they help me with making snacks, they help me with picking what activity we're doing. So the main thing with older kids is to give them something to do. So when I go home at night or when I go into my room after a long day, I think of what we should do the next day. I look at the weather. I say, oh, when I show up in the morning, if I know it's supposed to be a nice day, I say, would you like to go to the park or would you like to stay home and make cookies? And they can pick what to do, but I've already pre-planned and I've looked ahead to give them options.
Yes.
So the older they get, the more options they get.
Yeah, and I love that you already like plan before ahead, and also that you give options. Like,
yes,
those are really important points.
That really helps you connect with them, and then they're excited for the next day. They're like, oh, what is she gonna have for me to do today? But they still get to decide if they really want to do it. You know, giving them some options. And the older they get, the more options I give them, the more say that they have in what we do. But I still am the one in control and the one in charge. And being responsible and coming up with a plan for them helps take the pressure off them. Because even though they're getting older, doesn't mean that they know how to plan their day or know what they want to do. So that's still my job. But I just let them have more of a say in it.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one more thing that I did want to bring up when comparing younger and older children. As a new nanny, and if you're a new au pair or a new nanny or you're working for a new family, the one situation that I would probably shy away from in the very beginning is paying attention to the age gap. Sometimes since we talked about both younger and older children, it's very difficult when you have both in a family. So I would say for your first family, if you're looking for something very simple and kind of to break you into working with children, look for kids in the same age range. Having 2 toddlers is a lot easier than having a baby and an 8-year-old. Or having 2 8-year-olds or a 7 and 8-year-old is easier than having a 1-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Yes.
So I would say like just a little pointer, and I wish someone would have told me this, is look, if it's your very first time ever watching kids and working for a family, look for kids in the same age range.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that helps a lot. And
yes.
If I always wanted to have more children more children that I gotta take care of. But now I have an only child, and I'm actually kind of glad because I'm so flexible. I can do really things that I wouldn't be able to do if I would have more children. It doesn't mean that having children, that I have a lot of children is a bad thing. It's just it gives you more flexibility, and that's just something to consider whenever you pick a family or whenever you're just taking care of their kids.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for being here and to just be part of this whole series. And I think you just brought so much value to this channel and to those videos. And I think you definitely helped so many au pairs out there. If you really like this video, then don't forget to subscribe and to also like this video.
Thank you for having me, Becky.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Yes, if y'all have any questions, let us know. Becky can get them answered. If you want to ask me a question, we would love to get them answered, and we hope this video was helpful for y'all in the future.
Absolutely. The more questions we get, the more...
Okay. The more answers we give.
That's right. The more answers we're gonna give. No, all right. So, hope to see you soon, and hope you have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, give me a high five.
The more answers. No, the more questions.
I'm going to laugh for the next 5 minutes.